Welcome to another episode with TALKZ WIT TOBYZ. And this is my veteran guest again, Ethan. And this is homeboy right over here.
Homeboy, I'm Jackson.
All right, nice to meet you, Jackson. So today we're going to start off with like business and like, starting small to like starting big. But we're going to talk about like how to organically grow a business. So explain to us how that process goes.
So right now, me and Jackson are developing Chromatics Technologies, an up-and-coming AI tech startup business. Right now, we're developing AI apps, and at first it was just an idea, but now we're really making it happen. And Jackson's gonna kind of tell us like how we develop the process of just turning like an idea into more than just an idea.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's get into it. So basically, a lot of people, they have great ideas, right? But it's not just about the idea, it's about execution. And regarding that, we had a couple app ideas, just from conversations that we thought would be pretty successful. But in order to do that, you can't just show up to a room with an idea. You have to learn how to code, how to market, how to build a team, do all these things. So the past year and a half, I've been learning how to code on my Mac and been talking to people in the industry, networking, figuring out like what needs to happen in order to launch a successful app. And then there's the marketing component, team building, and then there's legalities. So there's all these different components to just one singular idea, right? But it's been a cool process so far because we've been working on this one app we've been developing. It's called Path Forward. So it's basically this financial recovery app, right? Where we're kind of the middleman in between social organizations and credit unions and, financial service companies. And basically we're helping people get back on their feet, right? So people who just got out of hospitals, jails, domestic abuse situations, etc. It's one centralized place where they can get career, legal, and financial advice.
That's what's up. So you're saying like you learn coding for about a year so you can like grow your own business, like both of your business.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like how does coding work? Because I hear that's like very, very hard to do, like learning how to like code, learning like all the tech shit.
Yeah, no, it's basically like when you first get into it, it looks like hieroglyphics. Like it looks like
it's like learning a foreign language. It's like
exactly.
goddamn.
But what I learned, I did YouTube videos, right? So just with my MacBook, I was able to download this Apple program called Xcode. And basically that's what you can use to download to make any iOS app. So then from there, I was learning to code. And then when ChatGPT came out like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, when I started using it, ChatGPT helps you organize and like develop the code more to put into Xcode.
So you're saying that ChatGPT was a reliable tool because I think ChatGPT came out like 3 years ago.
Yeah, about 3 to 4 years ago, yeah. And chat has been tremendously
helpful.
Oh
tremendously.
Just with our website, our posts, reaching out to
job,
people.
school, like
everything.
it's been a tremendous help. Tremendous.
Yeah, like not even just like, literally everything, like not just the website, like literally everything. And I started working on the website with Jackson over the summer. We decided to like sit down in my office, in my house, and just like kind of like sit down for like 5 hours and compile like everything we want to do, like think everything out, write down all the ideas, like write down what we want for the company. And we're like, I went to Italy over the summer for study abroad, and I learned about like AI and how to make a startup business using AI and using Lovable AI, which is a website creator that can create websites and apps using AI, and then you can prompt the AI to create the code for you for the website, and you can develop a free working website with working buttons. You can have it published with a domain and everything for completely free. So we took that knowledge that I learned over the summer and we applied that to our current business, and that's how I'm developing our website right now. And then we plan to buy a real like website.com domain and then establish the Lovable AI to that domain. And we're updating the website every day. It's getting better and better. Jackson's getting like hundreds of calls a day about our company and about our business. We have his number like posted on the website and all of our Instagram, Chromatic Technologies. We have like our LinkedIn page.
And tag my boys real quick, man. My boys real quick.
Yeah,
and make some good shit. Yeah,
Chromatics Technologies to the moon.
Chromatics Technologies. Follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, We're working on Facebook, TikTok, everything. And eventually, when we come out with more apps, we're gonna have marketing campaigns for each one. So just stay clear for that.
You heard the man, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's a startup business right now, but they making that noise, bro. They making that noise.
Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, that's like the reason we're on this podcast. You know, we want to spread awareness to what our
Yeah.
company's doing. You
In
know,
5 years, they gonna make companies like Google, Microsoft look like middle schoolers, bro.
that's the goal, man.
Exactly.
It's exactly the goal. And you know, our base, you know, kind of concept for each app is looking at a real world problem and finding a simple solution that makes it easy. You know, it's because like, you know, regarding there's so many, we have a few different ideas, but I can bring up one. It's called this app Cop It, where it's basically this peer-to-peer rental platform where basically, so imagine, I'll just give an example. Like, let's say you're going on vacation and you need suitcases and you're going to skiing. So you need coats and you need skis, you need all these things, but you don't want to buy them up front. This is more like a platform where you can rent it, that you can connect your contacts to and local people in your community and rent it for a certain amount of time. So it's like that, or like events. Let's say like you have an event, you need chairs, tables, you know, you need a tent, you need all these things, but those are short temporary purchases. So this is one centralized place where you can kind of temporarily, you know, rent things, but you connect your contacts. So basically it's with people you know and around you in your community.
That's what's up, bro. That's
Yeah.
what's up. Like, you know, building like a growing business, but also like, you know, keeping it like, you know, tight, keeping a tight circle around it.
Exactly.
Like that's very important because having a it's good that you're succeeding in life, but always have a tight circle that's been with you through day one, through the ups and downs. Like not just the ones that like are there when you're like, you know, when things are going your way.
Yeah, for real. Like me and Ethan, we've known each other since about 4th, 5th grade.
Yeah.
So you know each other for a long ass time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We like
yeah.
grew up on the same street too.
I'm
So
yeah. Like I have family friends back in my country that I've known since my primary school days, so grade school. Like in Nigeria, we call primary school grade school.
Right.
So I have like some friends I've known since then. Like we still talk to this day. But yeah, it's always good to like have that people that have been supporting you since day one.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I think regarding like your circle, it's quality over quantity always.
Oh, definitely.
Can't-
Quality over quantity.
Can't argue against that, you know?
Yeah.
Like I have a lot of acquaintances and friends, but like they don't know everything about me. I
Hey,
don't have to tell them everything.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Like I have a lot of like friends. Like I don't like to use acquaintances. I'll say like I got real friends, hangout friends,
Yeah,
and hangout
exactly.
friends. Like
Exactly
you know
like that,
those
yeah.
type of friends.
Yeah.
I'll say the real friends I have in my life are I got like at least 7 or like 12 really good friends. Like good friends.
Yeah. And that's all you need. You know, you could have 2 best friends that are always there for you. It's like this. You could rather have 4 quarters or 100 pennies.
Yeah,
Would you rather
because
have?
I rather have like the ones that are gonna like, you know, make like, you know, the spending count.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like I'll say that just going off of what you said, like, yes, quality over quantity is so much better. But
definitely.
think about it. Not all of us can do it ourselves, so it's good to like, you know, have a village behind us. The village doesn't have to be like 1,000 fucking people at once. It can be like a good 15, a good 20 people that support you and love you.
Definitely. Like we
Or-
have a small team of like 10 people that I went through like a hiring process with our team. As the CTO, I gathered people for each profession, and then me and Jackson interviewed them on like conference calls, and then gave them like an assignment, said, okay, you're gonna do this work. And all these people we hired are like close friends of mine. Like all these people are like trusted people I trust to like do their work, do the job, but also like succeed with us and help us grow and help us expand. Some people, you know, like Aiden, he's our CFO. So, you know, he's up there. He's the third in command. and he does a lot of stuff
Wait,
for us.
what's the CFO, right? Like financial manager
Yeah,
or something?
chief
Yeah.
financial officer.
Oh, chief financial officer.
Yeah, so he
Correct, yeah.
handles all our finances. You know, he has a lot of real estate experience, a lot of business experience, and he's a wealth management major. So he really like he basically establishes a bunch of connections for us. He's helping us like get all of our legal stuff done in terms of like LLCs, connections, like our taxes. Like he's doing like all of that. So you know we have a trusted team with some other people like Anthony, my friend who I went to Italy with for the study abroad. We also added him to the team. We have my best friend Josh. Like we have a lot of very like close people, and we had our first meeting last Monday, and it was
Yeah.
a very successful business meeting with the whole team. We organized the meeting to kind of like go over what everyone's roles are and establish what we want going forward for the company.
That's amazing, bro. That's amazing. Like everyone you hired are like, trusted people, like close friends
Yeah.
of yours.
Basically, and for
Yeah.
the interview process, that was what was important to me. So I would have me and Ethan would be on a call with each one, and I would basically, in like regarding their role, I'd have them sell themselves in 2 to 5 minutes. Sell themselves, how they can add value to our company.
I'll say give them 5 minutes to just sell themselves, because if you give them like 30 seconds, that's gonna be tricky. Like
Yeah, no, I basically kind of kept it loose to see what they could come up with, how
how
Exactly.
creative they are.
exactly, because a lot of interviews are rigid and have rigid questions, but I kind of like the concept of
Yeah.
having it be loose so people can actually, speak about themselves.
Yeah,
You kind of see their
because-
personality a bit.
Exactly. Because you already know they're good at their profession. Like you want to see like, what they're really about. Like you need to dig deep into their psyche a little bit.
Yeah.
Definitely. And it like leaves room for creativity if you just tell them like, you know what, like pitch yourself to us in like 2 to 5 minutes, and just like let them like kind of introduce themselves and like,
Yeah.
pitch themselves like it was like a Shark Tank like business pitch, and see what they're all about.
Honestly, I can pitch myself to like, a business, like, boss in less than 2 minutes, because I really know how to be creative and like sell myself.
Yeah, that's important.
Because like I'm a multimedia journalism major and I'm a communications major, but I also do public relations on the side. So, and I also know how to like really close deals. So,
There you go. Yeah, it's important because you're your biggest asset, and if you can't sell yourself, then how are you gonna
like,
further yourself anywhere in life?
these past 2 weeks, I've gotten like 7 job offers. 7.
There we go. Congrats.
That's because of me, though. Well, my resume is also very good. It's just
Yeah.
because I know how to sell myself, bro.
And that's
I know
important.
how to make you, how to convince you that I am the best person for this job. Like, forget about my skills. Like, skill-wise, like, that's not a problem. Like, I know I'm going to excel at this job if I
Yeah.
get it or not. But personality-wise, one of the biggest things that I learned, like, here at this university, like, from the workers that, like, do you know those workers that, like, do internships, like, and stuff, like, upstairs in the caf?
Yeah.
They taught me your biggest asset is your personality. If you really know how to sell your personality, then you are going to get the job 9 times out of 10.
For sure.
Definitely.
You have to be a likable person, because not only, anyone can have the skills, right? Let's say there's this straight A student who like aced the SAT, but he
Yeah.
has no social skills and his personality is boring. He's less likely to get hired than someone who might not have as good as stats.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's my point,
But he
bro.
has
Like,
personality. He can talk to people. He
Yeah.
uses his skill sets in a social and like real setting.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I keep telling, like, my parents and like people, look, education is cool. Like, don't get me wrong. It's good to have a degree. It's good to have like, a master's, like blah, blah, blah. But if you have education, if you're all book smarts and you don't have a little bit of like, charisma and like street smarts on the side, like it's good, then you're cooked. Like
Yeah, you're cooked.
you're
You're
fucked.
cooked.
You're
Yeah,
fucked, bro.
actually.
Definitely.
Like, bro, that's why I like to always like, go outside a lot. Like, just to like gain knowledge, just to gain some insight on life. Like, just like, know my community, know my surroundings.
Definitely. Like
Yeah.
I agree with that a lot, because it's like I feel like the best experience is real life experience, and like in school, like there
School's
you're
not gonna
getting
teach you shit,
yeah,
bro.
unless you're doing like hands-on stuff. Like my internship over the summer, like I took all of that knowledge and literally created an entire like company and website with that knowledge, and that was like hands-on knowledge. It wasn't just a class. It was
I made a podcast, bro, based off hand-to-hand knowledge, bro.
exactly.
Literally just learning shit on my own, like outside in the
Yeah.
real time.
And that like goes to show how like the school system's definitely like failing us and not educating us on like what we really need in life, and like what we like, papers and writing papers and doing worksheets isn't gonna educate us.
That's
and,
not gonna educate
like
us.
real life experience is the best experience, better than like, oh yeah, I have a college degree. But like, in that time in college, you can use your college connections to, create a podcast,
Yeah.
start a company. We're using our college resources for this podcast room right now.
Yeah.
And it's like we're utilizing our resources and our stuff around us. And at the same time, like we're still taking classes, but we're learning more from stuff we're doing outside of class than stuff we're doing in class, because it's hands-on stuff,
Exactly.
which is the best way, in my opinion, to learn stuff.
Exactly. Because I feel like school is good because, like, don't get me wrong, if I have kids, I'm gonna like,
You're gonna
put
send
them
to
in school.
college, Yeah.
But like the one thing I want out of my kids is that I don't just want you to do well in class. I also want you to like interact with people. I want you to excel in life. I want you to not be afraid to be yourself around people. Because that I don't want my child to feel like, he's in a nutshell his entire life.
Yeah.
I actually want him to experience the world.
Definitely
What-
not raised as an iPad kid.
Yeah. What
Gosh.
like I'm a 2003 baby. Like I'm an early 2000s baby. So our generation is probably one of the last generation to go outside for real.
Yeah, and
Definitely.
it's like, I mean, I grew up with access to a laptop. Like I had the internet at like 8 years old.
I used to watch movies on DVD, bro.
Yeah.
Like
No,
that.
did you have the whole book where you like flip through the DVDs, man?
Yeah.
we'd had that.
Like I had DVDs everywhere, bro, in my house.
Yeah, Blu-ray. But like I remember surfing YouTube as a kid and seeing like videos I should not be seeing at like 8 years old.
Yeah,
For sure.
bro. I was watching R-rated movies at like 9 to 10 years old, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Wait, was I watching R-rated? I think I started watching R-rated movies when I turned 12, but never mind that. Because like I remember like as a kid, I always watched like PG movies, like animated shit. My mind wasn't mature enough to like handle,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
I feel like it just depends like how your parents raise you, honestly, like the environment you grew up in, because it's like, like even kids these days, like we had access to like technology not as sooner as kids now. Like kids now are in kindergarten, preschool with iPhones, which most of us were not in preschool with iPhones. Like I didn't get my first iPhone till like fifth grade. But
Right.
like even though I had an iPhone and like I had an iPad when I was in second or third grade, like I still like went outside and did stuff and like went
Yeah.
biking, and me and Jackson both went to like outdoor sleepaway camps in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And like, we went camping and we would like, go mountain biking and go on trails and, go hiking and, do all these outside stuff like when we grew up. And even though we had access to
Yeah.
all this technology, it's just like this like new generation, like
Yeah.
Gen Alpha, they're just like so
The
like
new-
consumed by technology.
Yeah.
It's way different now. Like I
It's
mean,
way different.
the way TikTok's set up to like the algorithm that like attacks exactly what
It
you
makes your psyche locked into the
like.
app.
Yeah,
Like
and
that's
it's making people stupider. Like more humans now have shorter attention spans. Like they're chronically online. There's an average of like 6 to 7 hours a day, 6-7 hours a day. It's just
oh
like
my god, do not do that
I'll never do
fucking
that
meme,
again.
bro.
I'll never do that again. But like it's just that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think we're like kind of, and there's an arise mental health crisis right now because of social media. Like these kids aren't going outside. They're chronically online. They're going deeper and deeper into like niche things on social media, and and I don't think it'll stop.
Yeah, when I have a kid, bro, I'm not giving him his first phone until he's 12.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until
I think,
he's 12 years old, I'm not giving him his first phone.
yeah, I think like within like the newer generations and people growing up, like because of this easy access to technology, it's creating like a great mental warfare within like people's minds. Like they're
Yeah.
not being like, it's not that they're like iPad kids, but on top of being iPad kids, it's like all this involvement with technology and easy access and watching YouTube, like all that like skibbity toilet, like brain stop, like all
Oh
that
my.
brain rot stuff. And no, but it's true. Like they're growing up with this, and it's literally like making them dumber, and it's also forming them because they're so young and they have access to this technology, and their frontal cortex is still developing. Their brain, they're still young, and they have all this mush in their brains, and they don't they're not being taught the right stuff.
Yeah.
And they're just so like engulfed in this like technology and media and YouTube, when like I don't feel like younger kids should be worried about what so and so is doing. If you're like 10 years old and you're on social media and you're on TikTok and Instagram, it's like you're like 10, like go outside and
Yeah.
like climb a tree or something, like
Touch some grass.
Yeah.
touch some grass. Exactly.
But if my kids get social media, like I'm not gonna like make a social media account. Just keep an eye on my kids. I'm not doing that.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Like I don't want to do that, bro. That I just hate. Like my parents, I have like a mom that does that. My mom does that with me. Like when I got into like she got into,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I was like no.
Like stay away, mom. Jeez. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw this crazy
Yeah.
documentary. It was about the developers of every social media company, like Facebook, Instagram. They don't even let their own kids have it.
Yeah.
Like the developers of the apps know how bad it is. They don't even have their own kids on it. Like they're not allowed to.
That's
Yeah.
a sign. That's definitely
it
a sign.
just shows you, like,
Honestly, like if like I might not. It depends. Like if my kids show me some level of maturity, I might let them like get social media. If not, then I see social media is like too toxic, like it's all up and down and shit.
Definitely.
Like
yeah.
that, I might take that completely out of the equation.
Yeah,
And
I feel like
it always is. It's
Yeah.
always up and down, and especially with all this political stuff happening. Like we have like 10 to 15-year-olds. I mean, even younger, like seeing these things on TikTok, like like the Charlie Kirk shooting. Like how many young kids saw that graphic video? That's something like you're not supposed to see when you're younger. Like that's gonna affect brain development. Just seeing all this stuff online.
negative media, negative
Yeah.
news,
Yeah.
like that's not stuff you should be like growing
That's
up
not
with.
something that kids should be
And-
exposed to.
And I feel like to an extent, social media is like really corrupt, especially for like the younger generation, because they get that like chemical in their brain, like they see the likes and they get that high. They're like, oh, I'm getting likes, I'm getting, and they chase after like the fame, the likes, the Snapchat, like all that stuff, and it's like that chemical development is not good for you, especially like
Yeah,
at a younger age.
That's
like,
definitely no good for
I wasn't
you, bro.
allowed to have like Instagram till like 7th grade, and even in like 7th grade, like I didn't really like understand it. But now I use Instagram for good, and I use it to promote our brand for marketing. I use it for like, and like back then I was just making posts to make posts, and I'm still passionate about making posts, and I'm very like specific about it. But now
Yeah.
like I gained so much knowledge about like how to make connections across Instagram
Exactly.
with like different media groups, different pages, and it's like now I'm using like Instagram for good, but Instagram can also be bad, and as well as social media like TikTok, like Jackson was saying, it can like shorten your time span, like just of like patience. Like you're like, oh, I can't do this for more than 60 seconds, and then your patience is just like cooked, and that's just because you can't maintain a 60-second like attention span, and it's
Oh.
because TikTok's training your mind to like, 60 seconds, you're just scrolling you're doom scrolling, and you're just scrolling aimlessly. And I feel like that's what's really cooking our generation today, is we can't have normal conversations anymore. You can't just go up to someone and start talking to them. They'll be like, oh, this person's weird, like why. Some people are very like, they're just so caught up in their like 60-second like scrolling that they don't realize that like there's more to just that, like that aimless scrolling. I
Yeah.
have some friends, not gonna name names, but I have some friends that will scroll for like hours, like
Oh, hell
hours.
no, hell
And
no.
we'll be hanging out and watching a movie, and he's just like scrolling for like hours. And
Yeah.
even we'll be like in a car, and it's just like constant scrolling, and it's bad.
Yeah.
Like you can tell he's just addicted, and like
Yes, I
like-
can definitely tell by that. Because like with me, like I'll say the longest I can scroll is like for a good 2 or 3 minutes, then I just lock back in.
Yeah, definitely. But
Because
sometimes it can get super like addicting. Like, but every algorithm's different. Every program's different. You know, all types of social media give you some sort of like the same type of feeling, like the same type of chemicals in your head. Whether it's like getting a text on Snapchat, straight dopamine, straight to your head. Like whether it's like getting snaps or texts on Snapchat, or like getting likes or like follows on Instagram, or you're scrolling on TikTok and you're reposting and it's just scrolling aimlessly and you're just wasting time that you could spend doing something great.
facts. Because with me, like I learned that, like as a kid, like I was not die. Honestly, I can't lie. Like I on Snapchat, I used to post just random shit, bro.
I feel like we all
Like
do.
I
Yeah,
just
We
definitely.
definitely all do.
Yeah,
no,
we
like on
definitely-
my stories, not just send snaps on my
like
stories.
stories.
Yeah,
Stories, I
definitely.
just like posted some
Yeah.
wild ass shit, but I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like some dumb ass shit. I'll just say some the most retarded shit like on Snap. Like I was a kid though. I was a kid, so.
Yeah, I mean, we all
But-
had like those moments.
But thank God I quit Snap like 2 years ago, bro.
Yeah,
I never want to be on that shit
I
again.
would say Snapchat is more of like a communication thing.
Yeah, it's
So,
more of a
like
communication.
I do post sometimes because I have a lot of people on Snapchat. So, I mean, it's
I have
okay
the
to stay,
motherfuckers
like,
I
up
have
to
on my
date.
Snapchat. I don't know, like a good 50 or 60.
yeah.
I don't
Honestly,
even.
the
I have like
majority-
1,000 on.
Yeah, the majority of them I like don't like personally know, or I've
Fact.
met them like once and like they're an acquaintance, but now they see everything I post. So it's like Snapchat is different. And then also growing up like in middle school and high school with Snapchat, you know, that was a whole new thing.
yeah, Snapchat
you know?
was huge in
In middle school and high school, it was definitely popping.
Like you had
Yeah.
that, if you didn't have Snapchat, you know, you were like you had to have it, especially like Instagram and all that. I mean, like I know kids who didn't even have a phone until like freshman year. Like I don't even know how that's possible, but I got an iPod Touch in first grade, and like I only had YouTube, and then I got Snapchat probably in 5th grade, which I feel like still is too young. I feel like my parents should not have let me at that. Like
Yeah, I feel like the right age to be on social media is like if your kids are mature enough, like I'll probably give them like, a phone or like, I'll start with giving them a phone at 12, then I'll let them use social media like when they turn 13 or 14.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I started Instagram in like 7th grade, and my dad let me. I asked him, and he was like, "Yeah, you know what? Like, I think you're ready for that."
Yeah,
And it wasn't that crazy back then either.
So
Like,
did he make an account like, to keep an eye on you?
well, he already had an account. My dad's a photographer, and then that inspired me to become a photographer. So he's been posting on Instagram for
Yeah.
like since like Instagram pretty much came out. Like his posts go years and years back. But yeah, he follows me, but he's not like he didn't have any like restrictions or anything. But I would just like post random I just post like if I traveled somewhere I'd make a post. And then like I like got really passionate about creating posts and like the way I made them and it was just like they were just like all texting me at the same time, and I thought, you know what, like let's make like a small group chat. And then like after a year of the group chat we hit like 40 members, and now we're like almost at 70. And we've Bars, 42 CEO, all these huge people. But
Bars, man.
yeah, Bars, shout
They
out
have
to Bars.
300K. Well, how much? Oh, they have like 1 million, right?
2.4 million.
2.4 million. So I think like the connectivity aspect of social media is good, but like even for our apps we're working on, like a big component of the marketing is going to be on social media. Like exactly like with your podcast, you market your podcast to social media.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You post clips on social media. So like on a business aspect and the communities, it's definitely I think good. But like regarding young kids on it, it's definitely I feel like does more harm than good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
it definitely gonna do more harm than good because like people like some kids watch it because like my podcast is like very unfiltered, so like it's very interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Because like the one thing I found out is that like like it's better to like be unfiltered than to like be filtered, like
for sure.
because I'd rather be unfiltered than filtered any time of the day. Sorry about that.
That's all good.
Okay, now I can lock in now. All right, give it 1 second. Okay, now I can lock in. Yeah, because I just cannot be filtered. I just can't do that because, like, look, the way I was raised, like, if you got something to say it.
Definitely.
Don't hold back.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people. I was talking about this with my brother. I just came back from New York this morning on just like a family trip, and me and my brother were just walking around New York discussing how like a lot of people at his school like won't say stuff to his face, and they'll like
Yeah,
they'll like not like him, but not tell him like, oh, I don't like you, and there's just like this like tension, like people are
yeah,
like, oh yeah, I don't like you, but they're not gonna go tell him. They're just gonna like be mean to him and not like, and like that's
exactly.
messed up because like you can literally go up to someone and be like, you know what, like I want to work things out. Like I don't know why you don't like me. Like I feel like the emotion and the honesty and integrity of just going up to someone and being like straight up and honest about like how you feel or just communication is extremely important. People can say
Yeah,
like me and Jackson, used to say like you can like talk the talk, but can you walk the walk? It's like
exactly.
it's like, oh, you can say like, oh yeah, like I'm so transparent and I'm so honest and I love honesty.
And then
And then
you're
and then
too
you
much of a
cross.
pussy to like say anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then you like cross someone and say something, or you like totally do something that totally goes against totally contradicts what you say. So it's like, I truly believe that like honesty is the best policy. Like I'm very transparent with everyone and completely straight up and honest. And some people think like it's weird, like it's not normal in today's generation for people to like be straight up about things. Like they're too scared to say it, or they have
I
anxiety,
mean, they'd rather send it in a text.
or they'd rather send it in a text.
They
Yeah,
don't want
I-
to.
or
And
they'll
I'm
have
not-
especially like in dating too, who like
I'm not sending a fucking text. If I see you literally right there, bro, I'm not fucking texting. Like I'm gonna just go straight up
and
to you.
people, there's like an avoidance thing. People avoid people because they'd rather communicate on the phone or even dating. Like I feel like it's rare nowadays for people to actually like for men to go up to girls and like spark a conversation. It usually stems from social media.
Definitely.
Like,
And I feel like
majority.
a lot of
Yeah.
men are like scared. Like they're like they don't have like the courage, or like
Yeah, that's true.
and girls just don't want to put in the effort to like, go walk up to guys. So it's like it's cooked both ways, because the guys are too scared to walk up to the girls, and they'll text them on social media and then they'll see them in person, like not talk to them.
I mean, sometimes it can be the opposite for guys though. I've seen some dudes that like, they don't believe in that social media shit. Like,
They're
if
confident. They're confident.
Like,
themselves.
I'll say the same for myself. Like, I used to be like that, like, in middle school, but like now, nah, that shit.
Now you're a grown man.
Yeah, that
like,
shit over and done with,
Like
bro.
you should have the confidence to go up to a girl, you
Yeah.
find attractive, and just talk your talk, And if you get rejected, you just move on.
Yeah, you just
Everyone-
move on though.
It's there. People are scared of rejection. They're scared of saying the wrong thing. But the more you overcomplicate it in your head, like the more likely you are to fail. So
Yeah.
you just gotta go, just do it.
You just have to have like a positive mindset and a positive mentality, because really at the end of the day it just comes up to like being straightforward and like transparent about like how you feel, and the whole thing. Like it's really you just
Exactly.
have to like give yourself the courage to like walk up to someone and be like,
Yeah.
but it doesn't even take that much. Like you just have to have confidence in yourself, and that really like I feel like social media is also like dictating how we feel like conscious about ourselves, and like, oh, like do I look good in this picture? And that's contradicting like also
Facts.
contradicting the modern dating society, where it's like
Yeah. But I would say like I offer like free games to y'all boys. Like if you trying to like approach a girl, like I'll just give you free game. Let her like make sure she alone though. Like if she alone, then just go for that shit. Just shoot.
Sometimes
Just
her
shoot.
friends
Just
be
shoot
the
that shit,
defenders,
bro.
Man, her friends will
Like
defend.
her. Sometimes the shorties be cock blocking though. Like if
Sometimes the
like the
refrigerator is guarding the snacks. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
it's always the fridge guarding the snacks.
it's
fridge
always
is
the
there.
damn fridge guarding the snacks, bro.
It's true, bro.
But like I said, like if she alone, just go for it, bro. Like I'm not saying you gotta like smash, but like just go for it.
Yeah, honestly, you just got to spark a conversation, and then ask her for her number or whatever. Just like really like output your true intentions, and don't be too awkward because you want to be respectful in a sense. You know, like
So you want to be like smooth, but
Smooth.
like very very smooth,
smooth,
but
natural, and like
but not too
clearly-
direct.
Yeah, not way too. Don't like directly like first thing off the bat. You know what I'm saying? You want it to like form into this. You know,
Yeah.
at the end when you're like when you have your main goal of like getting her number or anything. You know, it's got to transition into that. You know, I feel like
Yeah.
if you a lot of guys just go up to a girl and be like, hey, can I get your number? And
Yeah,
if she gives it,
yeah.
you know, sure. But like, do
Yeah,
you
I'm not
want
doing
something
that.
that's a little more memorable? Like if you have a short little conversation, she's gonna remember that. But I'm sure like if you just ask one question, you know, like, can I get your number? I mean, that's just kind of like
like
I don't know. It's not as effective, I feel like.
Definitely. Like, I
yeah.
feel like, you know, you gotta establish like a meaningful connection, and
Yeah, you got
just asking for her number and then walking away, like that's not gonna make
Yeah,
a good
that's-
first impression.
honestly, like the talks like I've had with girls, like sometimes like it can last. Let's say the longest I've ever had is like it lasted for damn near an hour, bro. And like
What,
this,
just
like
from like a random girl, like you just straight up went up.
no,
to her?
I think like this, like I've seen her around before, but like when I just like approached her and like
Yeah,
we
yeah,
just started like talking, and I was like, I checked the time on my watch, I was like, damn.
Been an hour, and she's gonna remember that conversation for a very long time. She's
I
gonna
was-
remember you. She's gonna be more interested in
Yeah,
what you have to offer because that one conversation is gonna stick with her.
Yeah.
More than like that conversation is probably better than like 90% of the guys who come up to her who only
Exactly.
talk for like a minute or two.
and I was
it's awkward.
and I was even expecting that. Like that was just so, like I was just like feeling it on some random day. Like I was like, all right, man, like go for it. Like
Just
it was
go
just
for it.
it was just like some like random action that lead to a long conversation.
Definitely.
And
Sometimes
it's like it's the same thing in business too. Like the idea of just going for it, like connections wise. Like let's say you're at some convention and there's company owners everywhere and like you got to spark some sort of quick, smooth conversation in order to get like their contact. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the problem with our generation. I guess how social media has caused. There's a lack of social awareness. People don't know how to talk to random people, and I feel like that is such one of if not the most valuable skill to have in business. You need to be able to talk to someone and talk about anything. You need to be well-rounded. You need to have experiences because the more experiences you have in life, the more interesting you are as a person.
Exactly.
Therefore, you can talk about more things and connect with more people.
Exactly.
So if you're stuck in this bubble of not doing things and, it's just like even in school, you're only focused on the books and you're not out in the world doing things or talking to new people, you're a boring person and, you're not valuable to me.
I wouldn't say you're boring. I'm just saying like your mind's you think too simple. Like
Yeah,
you need
you're
to
too-
you be
it's
you
like-
need to be more diverse with
Yeah.
your thinking.
It's like open-mindedness and closed-mindedness.
Yeah, like you think too small. You need to be like more diverse and like more exotic with your thinking.
Exactly.
definitely.
Creativity,
Yeah, that's where creativity comes from.
So you can be creative in social situations, like finding one way to like piece a conversation together. Like, oh, like, what's that shirt you want? Or you can even piece it out of details. Like,
Oh, you can like do some small shit like, oh, I like the fit you wearing, dog. Like, where'd you get this from? Like,
Yeah,
you can start a
exactly.
combo from there.
Definitely.
just like that. It
Like
can be
it
that
can be
simple.
the smallest thing, and you just bring it up, and it's something in common or what
Yeah.
they're wearing, and you just got to be able to like talk, like literally talk and network. Networking is like such an important skill,
Yeah.
especially
Oh,
for me and Jackson to have.
absolutely.
Within
Absolutely.
Chromatics Technologies, we already have like so much connections just from talking to people. Like Aiden gets us connections, Jackson has connections, I have connections, and it's all like we had like an hour meeting with my uncle Steven, and he's
Wow.
very very successful entrepreneur and businessman, and he gave us very helpful advice with our company that we like took notes and wrote that down and took that into account, and he gave us an hour of his time, which is extremely valuable to us.
Yeah, it's because he was willing to give us this stuff because I was able to hold a conversation with him. If I was awkward and boring and wasn't very like
Interesting and unique.
it's you gotta
Yeah.
show how you're different from others in like a good way and your personality. Because I didn't want to hire anyone that like wasn't sociable, couldn't market themselves, couldn't really like stand.
You
on
mean
business.
pitch themselves like Marketing and pitching, kind of the same thing.
Same thing, yeah. Like pitch themselves. You know, like how are you valuable to me? What can you like? What are your future goals look like? Like you can really tell a lot from a person just in that simple question. Like sell yourself to me. Like how are you valuable to this company regarding like your role? What are you gonna do? Because like when I was talking to data engineers, I'm like, okay, like if you were to sell yourself as a data engineer, how would you do it? And then in 2 to 5 minutes, and then they just rip off. And then based on that, I'd ask them more questions that kind of dug deeper. And if they gave me like kind of something that was super like nerve wracking and like was kind of out of order, then I could tell they weren't exactly like a great fit. You know what I'm saying? But then it carries on to more questions. But that's like you get that initial judgment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. Like nowadays when I'm in interviews and even before in the past, like I'm never awkward. Like I'm always the most enthusiastic, the most social person. But I also know that like this is not my job. I'm trying to get this job. Like I need to impress. Well, I'm not gonna use that word. I'll say make a good impression on like the boss.
Yeah.
Like
Definitely.
impress just means like I'm trying too hard to like to get the job. Like I don't want to come off like that.
Exactly. You can't be like overly cocky.
Yeah.
Like, and I can tell when
Or
people
like
are
desperate for
overly,
approval.
yeah, because you can tell that isn't a great skill to have either. You know, you got to have the balance of in between. Like, you can't be too belittled to the point where like you can't even talk to people, or way too up here where like all you do is talk about yourself and
Yeah, so
don't
you
have
can
no respect. You know.
So there's difference between like being quiet and shy, between like being cocky and arrogant.
Yeah,
like,
arrogance. That's a good word for it. Like
Yeah.
overly arrogant people, I would never do business with, because like if all they do is talk. Most of the people that talk a lot are hiding a lot. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
really gotta figure out someone who has the balance of the in between, because you know it's not hard to find. But like if you're too arrogant, you know you're not really gonna be a likable person, because I think it just develops an ego. Like if your ego's way too high, you're gonna be arrogant and obnoxious, and if you have a really low ego, you know you're gonna be quiet.
You're gonna be quiet and shy
Exactly,
of people.
exactly.
But what if you're in between, like, you know, you're very confident, but you're also like very low key and
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not like cocky, because we're confident in our company. You know, we believe in chromatics technologies. We had this idea a very long time ago, and it's like now we're doing what we always wanted to do, but we're not like we're not cocky, and we haven't, even when we become big and we start generating revenue, we're still going to be Ethan and Jackson, who started this idea like in 2019, like in a swimming pool. Like we were just coming up with like business ideas, and it's like even when we're successful, we're still going to be modest in how we are now, because it's like we built this from the bottom up. And it's like you always have to have some sense of like there's always bigger fish out there. A lot of the connections we have are doing things that are way bigger than us, and it's just like you have to have some sense of like even though we're successful, like we still have to be humble, we still have to be modest, because it's like if you're cocky, like no one's gonna want to do business with you, no one's gonna mess with you, like no one's gonna want to network with you. You have to take everyone's advice, and even if you're creating a network with someone and you're trying to like get their contact and get their info, you have to
make a good impression.
You have to make a good impression and be interested. You have to engage yourself in
like
the
you got to
conversation.
show like you actually give a damn about the business. You can't just show that because he wants you there.
Exactly.
You have to want to be there.
Exactly. And it's like if you show that interest, like show them like, okay, I want to be here, like I want to network with you, I want to like learn about like what you're about, and establish that meaningful connection for later on. And networking is one of the most important skills in this industry to have, and a lot of people like can't network properly. It's like they want to be successful, they want to make the business, but at the end of the day, if you can't make those connections, if you can't properly hold a conversation with someone to establish, oh, okay, you do this business, I'm in this business, oh, I went to this school, it's pretty easy if you just practice.
Oh, very easy, very.
You just gotta practice, even if it is awkward at first, at least having the idea that you're putting yourself out there, and like let's say you have an interaction with someone and it's just not the way you wanted it to go, it was awkward, and be like, all right, this was just practice, we'll go to the next. And the thing about networking is like it's important for any industry, like any career. Like it's connections and networking. Like a rich man told me, your network is your net worth, and I stand by that.
So you're saying like your communication will lead to more money. Like if your communication is 1,000% accurate,
let's say you're talking to this guy.
The money is not too far behind.
Not at all. Let's say you're talking to this guy and he's a businessman, and then he knows some other people in the industry, and then he can connect you to these people who know these people, and it's a chain of command. You know what I'm saying? How else are you gonna get your foot in the door without talking to someone, and then they give you this opportunity to meet this person? It's relationships. I think relationships are like a key factor in success. Because no one does this on their own. Like, how do you think Zuckerberg and Elon, all these people, it's not like they were alone. They had to talk to the right people. They had to make the right moves with the right people.
I mean, some of them did build themselves the ground up. Like, I know Elon Musk, like, definitely grinded for his success.
Oh, yeah. I'm saying all of them grinded. But, like, how else were they supposed to execute the idea? It's like what I was saying earlier.
Right connections.
You can have the idea, but you can't execute it well without knowing the right people. Like, how are you supposed to get the funding, get the marketing, get the legalities?
So you're saying like they had a good introduction to the idea. They just needed like the right conclusion. Well,
to boost them
the
up.
right storyline and the right directors to help them make the story good.
Yeah, exactly. It's like because they were the writers of the script. Like, think of it like as a movie, right?
A script is only as good as the writer.
Yeah,
that's how it is.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like they had these great ideas, and they're still like all three. Let's say Bezos, Elon, Zuckerberg. They're still coming out with these crazy ideas. They're genius business people. And like more than that, but it's like, it just shows like it's also kind of weird because they all have their own personality quirks. But still.
Like, I'll say Elon Musk is more, quiet, but also very chill.
Yeah.
And, like, I'll say Zuckerberg is, like, a little bit more enthusiastic, but also not too arrogant, but, like, very enthusiastic about his business.
Right. I know. And it's like, that's what separates them from the rest. They have these like personality quirks, and they have the brains that kind of just.
Am I right about Zuckerberg? Like, I know Elon Musk gives me like a quiet type of vibe.
Oh yeah, I think all three of them a little bit.
Definitely, I feel like Zuckerberg's a little more like social. Like he'll
like
go out
like
and,
more enthusiastic.
Yeah, he's enthusiastic, but he's also like a lot less quiet than Elon. Elon's kind of like to himself. Like doesn't really like talking to people that much, keeps his family close.
Exactly.
He doesn't really like go out and talk a lot. Zuckerberg's more like social.
He's more social.
To, like, social events and like talk to people, make like commercials or like, he's more like active with his like community of people.
Yeah, like I heard Elon Musk talk once like on a podcast, like Joe Rogan's podcast, and I was like, okay, he gives me like a quiet dude type of vibes.
Exactly.
Like just hearing him talk.
Yeah. Because, like, let's say, like, so maybe he's not as strong in, like, the communicative, like, social aspect, but then he surrounded himself with the right people to get, like, PayPal. That was his first company. Like, he surrounded himself with the right people to get that growing, and then from there, he just made the right relationships with people, Like, maybe he wasn't exactly strong-suited socially, but, he has the brains, and it's just, like I said earlier, like the kid who's like extremely smart but doesn't have great social skills, like you can still make the effort. Like social skills can be learned and like grown over time.
And sometimes
some people
just
are born with them. And sometimes you really have to like develop.
And sometimes like social skills are just instinctual. Like sometimes you gotta learn it. Like with me, I had to learn it. Like at first, like when I was a kid, like I was very shy, very timid. Like didn't know how to like talk to people the right way, but
no, same. Literally same in middle school, bro. I probably, was socially like, I mean, a lot of middle school is where it was socially awkward. You get nervous and all this.
Yeah, you definitely get nervous in middle school.
I feel like once you become a man, you should develop this sort of confidence in yourself, and like in dating and business, career, everything,
I'll say dating is not. People say dating is tricky, but it's really not. To be honest,
it's simple. I guess nowadays it's a little more complex.
They make it more complex because,
definitely.
Social media and shit. I was like,
social
nah,
media,
fuck that.
Tinder,
fuck that.
Hinge. I mean,
fuck that.
It's crazy because a lot of relationships nowadays are actually like
brought up by Hinge and Tinder and social media,
Yeah,
which I
that's
don't
some
prefer.
bullshit.
Like, I'd rather meet a girl like organically, you know.
Then, like,
Face
do
to
online.
face.
Face to face.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, bro,
you gotta teach them face.
that-
Face to face.
that's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I
it's
don't
true.
give a fuck about the social media shit. Like, if I see a girl and I want that shit, bro,
Go get it.
go get it. Go
And,
get
you know,
it.
if you fail, you know, you,
Like,
you get back on your feet and you keep going.
Like, she
you
got
know?
no wall protecting her, bro. Just break through
Wall-
that shit,
the
bro.
wall's in your mind.
Yeah,
It's a
That's
mental
it.
wall.
It's a mental wall.
warfare.
There's no wall protecting your mind, and there's no wall protecting her. Just go for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I know a lot of dudes.
It's
who
open
have-
season.
No, it's true. It's open season. But I know a lot of kids who just like they have very low self-confidence. But like when they're like not around girls, you know, they're these like funny, eccentric people. But then, you know, when like girls come around, you know, they get very nervous and shy, and it's like it's hard, it's weird to see, you know. It's just this like it's like a cognitive distortion where your brain's telling you you can't do this, but like in reality you can, you know, like it's just the barriers of our mind that, you know, stop people from doing
It's literally us limiting ourselves
Yeah.
to have the confidence to go up and do something. And it's just like that mental block in your mind. And some people just can't get past that. They can't build up the confidence to like give themselves and be like, okay, I'm gonna go do this. And that applies, like Jackson said, everywhere. Like networking, like just like social skills and networking go together in literally every aspect of life. It's just like sales. If you can like sell shoes, you can sell anything. It's just like networking. If you can network to like a businessman and establish like a good relationship and a positive network, you could literally do that in any aspect.
Facts. I appreciate y'all boys for coming through, man.
Yeah,
it was a
thank
hell
you.
of an
Yeah.
episode.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you for having us.
Chromatics Technologies. Follow us, LinkedIn.
Follow us on LinkedIn.
Look us up on Google,
Instagram.
Instagram.
Path Forward's coming out soon.
Path
So,
Forward coming soon.
Stay clear.
All right.
See ya.
Have a good day, boys.